minutes and then we can get it started.
Okay. And when you
Nidhi is all
start,
set with the presentation.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just checking if all my screens are visible. No, they're not. 1 second.
so Nidhi, what happens is, not many people show up, but what we do is we do the recording and then it's posted on YouTube and all those things. And we also send the link to people who signed up because about 50 people signed up. But,
Mhm.
primary reason they sign up is they want the video. Now,
Yeah, that's fine.
so I'll take the video, I'll edit it, and, then give it to MuleSoft also.
Okay.
Hey Madrona, thanks for joining the meetup. Hey Arjun, thanks for joining the meetup. So we have already 10 attendees joined the meetup. So let's, should we start the meetup now?
Yeah.
Hey Nidhi, you all set with the, you all,
Yes, all set.
We all good.
yeah. Thanks everyone for joining this meetup. So this is our 29th, 27th or 29th meetup, the Chicago group, that uh, we try to set up the meetup every 1.5 months. So that's so to in this meetup we came with the hyper automation topic that is very much in demand, and as well as I got a lot of requests from the attendees. They want to know more about, they want to learn the hyper automation in very they had questions they want. So in this meetup we have Neeti, who is the instructor in Salesforce, and she's we are happy that she helped us out in presenting about the hyper automation and give lot. She's already the master, so she will give us a lot of information about the hyper automation, and we can learn about the hyper automation. We can discuss the various use cases, and also we can address the questions whatever our attendees has. And if not in now, you can also shoot us an email and we'll try to address the questions about the hyper automation. So without wasting much time, I would like to invite Niti to give us a deep dive in hyper automation, and it's all all it's up to you, Nidhi. Thank you so much for helping
Thank
us
you.
and
Thanks, Nali.
spending some time with us for the presenting the topic. Thank you.
I hope there's a lot of content. I would try as much as I can cover. So, yeah, bear with me, please. So, hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. So, I know I heard it from Sonali. So, I know, and even from my past experience, that many people know about MuleSoft integration a lot. But there is always this side of MuleSoft, which is automation, hyper automation, which people are really not aware of. Because I think still not many organizations are using it, but they are very, very good tools, which the companies are starting to use them. So I know you all are eager to know about hyperautomation, so let's start our journey. So first of all, just a little bit about myself. I'm Nidhi Jain. I'm working as a principal instructor at Salesforce. I have got 15 years of experience in integration, especially in all different various integration tools like TIBCO, Web Methods, OSP, MuleSoft, etc. And in my past, I have worked in various different roles, starting from integration developer to integration lead and integration architect, and now working as an instructor. From personal side, I'm art and music lover, and I love baking cakes and especially decorating them. So that's about me. And feel free to post any questions if you have during the session. This is a forward-looking statement. So this is generally whenever we are doing any Salesforce presentation, this is a quick reminder, that if you're making any purchasing decisions, so you should make your decisions based on the products and services which are currently available and not on the future products or services. Let's quickly go through the agenda. So we will just quickly discuss about what exactly is MuleSoft Automation, and then I'll talk about all the different various products MuleSoft offers as part of the automation package, like Composer, RPA, IDP, and then I'll give a little overview about Salesforce Flows as well. And as right now, sorry, Agentforce uh, is too much in the market now. Salesforce is promoting a lot, so I will talk a little bit about agents with MuleSoft as well. And yeah, if we have some time left, we'll have Q&A towards the end. So whenever you hear MuleSoft, the first thing which comes to your mind, of course, it is integration, right? We all know MuleSoft, that is integration. But integration is MuleSoft is not just integration, it's much more than that. So along with integration, it offers you API management, and along with API management, it offers you the automation as well. If you want to compete in this world, every day things are changing, you really need to provide the end-to-end or integration solution. You need to provide end-to-end automation. So that's what MuleSoft helps you with. So let's see what are the obstacles we face in today's world, because in today's world, the only thing which is constant is change. Every day we are getting new technologies, new services, new applications, and along with that, a lot of data is coming into the picture. And companies, they will not be able to keep up with those many changes if you go with a traditional integration. Even though MuleSoft is solving a lot of those problems, problems are definitely getting solved by that there's no doubt about it, but still the way, with the speed everything is changing these days, that's not enough, right? So we need to provide automation in all different angles, in all different perspectives. So because of these changes, what is happening is IT teams are overburdened because they have a lot of changes to implement, and because of that, stakeholders are frustrated, initiatives are getting delayed, and the developers are feeling burnt out. So this is where MuleSoft automation comes into the picture. So businesses need a new operating model, a new set of tools and mindset, which allows them to deliver these broad set of priorities. So what exactly is MuleSoft automation? MuleSoft, as part of an automation package, MuleSoft provides you this end-to-end solution, which includes your Anypoint platform, Composer, RPA, and IDP. So these are the main products which MuleSoft provides you as part of the automation package, right? So if we break it down a little further, Composer, let's start with Composer. It is mainly for the business users who want to solve their automation, who want to build a process, they want to integrate with different systems, and maybe when I come into more detail into the Composer, then I'll talk about it. So MuleSoft Composer is basically focused for business users to automate their different systems. RPA is about automating the human task, and IDP is about processing your unstructured data. And we all know that Anypoint platform is there to solve your integrations with the legacy systems, or solving your complex integration problems. So let's move ahead. So let's start with MuleSoft Composer. Okay, so MuleSoft Composer is basically it creates the processes which connects the data which is residing in the different systems. Right now, you can say that even integration, MuleSoft integration does the same thing, right? That's true. MuleSoft Anypoint platform provides you the integration between different systems, and all those systems are kind of trying to talk to each other in a different language. So that's where the MuleSoft comes in. It provides the orchestration, provides you the complex transformation, and then it integrates the systems for you. Now, but MuleSoft Composer is basically for the business users who don't know any coding, who does not understand any, complex programming language or any technical tool. So this is basically for the business users. We provide Composer, which is a no-code tool, right? So in this, to work with this tool, you don't need to understand the coding at all. You can simply, with some clicks, you can configure and create your process, which will allow your different processes, different systems to talk to each other. You can get the data from all those different systems and process them together, whatever your use case is based on that. So you can connect the information from these various systems in a single place. And when you start working with a composer, when you create your actually the processes with MuleSoft Composer, there are basically 3 steps which you need to perform. So first of all, you need to select the data which you specify from any system. For example, maybe you want to retrieve the data from your Google Sheets, W, Workday, or any other system. And then you want to perform some actions on that data, right? Whether you want to copy that data somewhere, or using that data, you want to update some particular status in other system. So something like that. And then you need to also define the trigger, how your flow will get executed. Of course, if we are creating a process, or we are creating a flow, it has to be triggered. So that trigger could be maybe based on some change in a record in a system, or even you can set up your schedule trigger, which will run through some intervals. So that is how your MuleSoft Composer works. And for example, maybe I'll just go through the before I come to the uses. Maybe first, here are just 3 benefits about using the MuleSoft Composer. So first of all, because if there is any change, your systems are integrated, your different systems are integrated. If there is some change, you want to make any change, you really don't have to wait for the IT developers to implement those changes. Of course, as a MuleSoft developer, we all know that if there is any change, not a business user, they cannot update anything. They have to wait for us, and we have to implement those changes for that. But using MuleSoft Composer, they can implement their own changes immediately, because they are not complex integrations. Their day-to-day integrations where they just want different systems to communicate and retrieve the data. So we empower the business teams to access the data and make the changes. And second is, you can integrate your apps and data to Salesforce easily, because we provide a library of different connectors and templates. So even you are a business user, you really don't have to do much, but still we have created already some templates for you. So you can use those, and you can start your creating your process from there. And third, you can create your without any efforts your connected experiences by taking the right action with the right data at the right time. Okay, and here are the use cases. And I see a question in the chat: does Composer connect to SAP? If I remember correctly, yes, it does. And when we do the demo side, I will show you all the different connectors. So if I remember correctly, yes, SAP is there. Thank you. So these are the use cases. For example, there are many use cases, but just few of them just to make you understand. So for example, if there is a new lead which is created in Salesforce, you want to create a record in NetSuite, and you want to notify the sales team on the Slack. So if you don't have any automation placed in this particular situation, what you will be doing, you will be creating the lead. I mean, the lead is created in Salesforce. Then you will be going to the NetSuite, manually updating, creating the record there. And then you will be notifying the Slack channel manually, right? So all that process now you can relate. If you use Composer, all these things will happen automatically. And they are very easy to integrate. So that's the main advantage of Composer. And maybe second example, if an order is placed on Shopify, you can create an invoice in NetSuite and you can update the inventory in SAP. So let's go and see the Composer quickly. 1 second. Okay. So this is my Salesforce org. Composer, you can even go to through, I think when you take any point platform, even you get Composer option there. But today the one I'm going to focus is on which is embedded in the Salesforce one. So you go to your org and from your app launcher, you can just search for Composer. And you can see the templates are available here. So if you don't want to start from scratch, you can use the templates. And these are the different templates available for you. And from here, I can go ahead and create a Composer flow from here. So maybe I'll just create a new one quickly, even though I kept some created there so that I can show you, but it's a good, it will be better if I can create one here. So if I start creating a new one, you can see that it asks you that, how you want this flow to be started. So first of all, you need to configure your trigger, whether you want it from a system event or you want to invoke it from an external system. So even you can do it, even set up the scheduler. So if you go to system event, and if I see your question, Chris, do I see SAP? Yes, SAP is there. So it does provide. Okay, so these are the different systems for which it provides you the connector. So for example, for this, I go to Salesforce and I have already created a connection. So I'll choose that. And again, if you want to create connection for any of those systems, you simply need to provide the credentials and you will be able to connect. And once you have choose the connection, you need to select the event which will start the flow. So whether you want to this flow to be triggered on a new record or a deleted record or new or updated record, and object type. So as Salesforce has got different objects, so you need to select the object on which you want to this flow to be executed. If you have any conditions to define, you can define those, and you can see that it is giving me all the different fields of contact object type, right? I don't want all of them. I really don't need them. So I can go ahead and select the fields from here. And I will just select the fields which I want to work with. And so I selected 4 fields here. And now you can see all these 4 fields now this side. Now I can add any action here. If I have any logic, I can add it here. But for now, I skip the logic and I will just go ahead and select an action. So maybe this use case, what I'm trying to do is, if I, in the Salesforce, if any new contact is created or a contact is updated, I want to add that contact into the Google Sheet. Okay, and I also want to update it on the Slack. So I will go ahead and use the connection which I already created, and I will select the action to create a row. And because now I have provided my credential for my Google account, so it is showing me all the spreadsheets which I can use, which are associated with my account. So I can select the spreadsheet, and whatever worksheets are available in that particular spreadsheet, it will show that. So I will select my worksheet now, and it will ask me from that sheet how many columns you want to add. So I have these 4 columns. So I'll go ahead and select them. And now I can simply map them. So contact number, I can map it with this, email, first name and last name. So You can see it is so easy. I mean, it does not require much technical knowledge. It's just like some clicks, configuration, and your flow is done. So right now this is done. If I want, I can even add a connection to send it to the Slack. So I will leave that for now as we don't have much time, and I will save it. I need to provide a name, date, Google Sheet, and then we can test it. So once I click on test, it waits for me to, because this flow is configured to be executed whenever there is a new or updated record in Salesforce. So I need to go to my org and I need to add a record there, then only this flow will get triggered. So it waits for 10 minutes. So let me go to one. I'm sorry, 1 second. Yeah. So here, okay, I'm already on the contacts and I'll go ahead and add a new contact here. Okay, so let me give some name, maybe Mary and Bush account name. I'll just give some phone and I'll save it. So now as soon as my contact is added, uh, the this trigger should get, the flow should get triggered. But I have seen generally it takes a little bit extra time. So I will leave it there and we'll move on to our presentation. In the meantime, it is testing. So, but I hope you got the understanding that it's just very easy, even though we are connecting with different systems, but it does not entertain complex integration or complex transformation the way we do in MuleSoft using data wave and connecting all various different systems. So this is little limited in that area, but it is mainly for the business users. So it is very useful for them to do their small integrations, simple integrations for their day-to-day use. Okay. So in the meantime, that is running. I would say let's move on to RPA. So what exactly is RPA? Robotic process automation. It performs if then else statements on structured data, right? Which is typically using a combination of user interface interactions or by connecting to APIs to drive client servers, mainframes, or HTML code. So let's understand it in a little bit detail. So whenever you hear RPA, robotic process automation, what comes to your mind? You might always think maybe it's, it's a device, it's a robot which is assisting a surgery, or maybe it is the robot which is cleaning your floor, right? That's what comes to our mind whenever we talk about the robot. But here, the robot which I'm talking about, it is a software robot. So, sorry, sorry about that. I got confused with the question. So I can see, can we schedule a flow? Okay. Can we schedule flow on a specific date time in Composer? Yes, very well. You can do that. Thank you. So I was talking about, so this is a software robot which can automate the repetitive human task. For example, if you want to enter the data in a system or you want to verify the data from documents or even images. So we often see that organizations are stuck with manual tasks because of legacy systems that like APIs. So when we use MuleSoft integration, generally the systems we are integrating are the systems which provide you some mechanism to integrate, right? Like whether they provide you an API or they provide you some, file-based system or they are MQ-based system. So there should be some mechanism to integrate with them. But what about the systems which have just a plain UI? I mean, they don't provide you an API. It's just an UI where you enter the details, you log into the system, you copy the data, you paste the data. So these kind of tasks, which you cannot achieve using the Anypoint platform, right? So there comes the RPA in the picture, where you can automate all these kind of tasks. And I think the biggest advantage comes in here is that RPA works very well with API and our exchange, Anypoint exchange. So once you have created your process, your RPA process, you can uh, you can publish it as an API, and this API you can consume in your Anypoint platform. So that is the biggest advantage. So this provides you like 360 degree of integration. So when you are integrating your different systems in your enterprise, and there is a system which does not provide you any mechanism to integrate, then your RPA comes as a savior. You can integrate, you can automate that process using RPA, and then you can expose it into the you can expose it as an API into the exchange, and you can use it in your Anypoint platform. So this is how you can achieve your hyperautomation. Okay, so this is the life cycle of RPA. And uh, before I talk about the life cycle, I would say that there are, with RPA, there comes different tools with it, right? So RPA Manager, RPA Builder, RPA Recorder, and RPA Bot. So it comes as a package. They all are different tools and they serve different purpose. So first of all, before creating your RPA process, you will first evaluate whether the process you want to automate is it really worth automating it? Is it really, there are advantages of automating it or not? So you will be evaluating that, and you will be doing that in RPA Manager. RPA Manager is a cloud-based control plane where you can evaluate, design, test, manage, and monitor your processes. And then in the design phase, once you are all about that, yes, you need to automate this process, then you will be designing it, and you will be just designing your steps, how you want to automate, what are the steps will be involved. So you will be using RPA Manager and RPA Recorder. So they both can be used for this purpose. I'll show you in the demo. And once your design is complete, you can build your process. So you can apply, you can fill in all your process logic there, and so your bot will be able to understand and execute it. And you will be using RPA Builder and RPA Recorder for it. And once you have built it successfully, you will be testing the process, and then before deploying to the production, you will be testing it. So you will be using RPA Bot and RPA Manager for it. And production, once you're happy with the test, you will be deploying it to the production. And again, your RPA Bot and RPA Manager will be helping you with that. And once it is in production, you can monitor and manage your bots and the processes which are running in the production. So this is the life cycle of RPA. RPA use cases. So this is basically if you want to connect older systems, your legacy systems, which don't provide you any APIs, and you want to integrate them with the modern application, you can do that using RPA. And the old mainframe systems where only option is to talk through the UI user interface, there you can use this RPA. And if you want to process the customer request and route them to the right department, you can use RPA. I got this question from Kearney: why are MuleSoft RPA and IDP not included in the standard Anypoint platform trial? I'm really not sure, and I think I'm not even authorized to answer that. So sorry about that. Thank you. So let's explore RPA and let's see how we can work with it. So this is MuleSoft RPA Manager. So once you have an account, you can log into your RPA Manager, and you can see your process of evaluation, automation, operations, monitoring, all the different options you have available here. So when you do process of evaluation, you mainly have to answer some of the questions like how many times this process is executed, or something like that. Some questions are there. Based on the answers you provide, it will tell you whether it is worth to automate it or not. So we will first do the evaluation. So I mean, today we will not do it as part of the demo, but generally in general practice, you would do that. So we'll skip that. And after that, we will start creating a new process. So let's go ahead and create a new process here. And if I just give, maybe I just select the same name. And I just need to select a category and save it. Okay, so once you have created your process, you will start automating it. And here you can see you have option. You can pick those components and you can start designing your process, how you want it to be, what are the steps you want in your process. So if that one option is there, we can do that designing in RPA Manager, or we have another option to go and use the RPA recorder here. So this is RPA recorder. And another thing is RPA recorder and builder, they can only run on the Windows machine. They don't work on Mac. So that's the reason I'm using this VM. And yeah, hopefully soon they will be giving it for Mac as well. But I have no idea about it. 1 second. Okay, so this opens your RPA recorder and you can start recording it. So as soon as you start recording, you need to add the activity name, right? So first of all, my use case is I want to open a awesome car company website, and there I want to log into that website. I want to go to some particular link and want to copy the data from there. So for that, I will go ahead and I'll say open web page. You can give any name, and it gives you option bot task, web task, or user task. So this is a web task because I'm going to open a web task. So I'll go ahead and click it. And now when it opens, I am going to provide a website name. Okay, now once it is here, I have an option, go and add another activity. So now I will say login and select it as a web task, and I will continue with already existing web sessions so that it continues to add the steps in the process. I will go ahead and click on login button here. And maybe another activity to go to contributes. Continue. Maybe I'll just leave these 3 steps for now. And once I have added these 3 steps, I'll go and stop the recording. And as soon as I stop the recording, it should create the process for me. Okay, so you can see the steps which I created. I provided the activity names. They have been added here now. The next thing what I can do, RPA recorder has just designed, recorded, and designed the process. Now I need to go to the builder actually to add, if I want to add some logic or if I want to test it. So I'll go ahead and upload it to RPM Manager. Okay, so it has been uploaded to RPM Manager. And if I go ahead and refresh the page, okay. So you can see this awesome car company demo. This has been published here and it has come to RPM Manager. and I will now publish it and release it to the build phase. Because we can test it from the build, not from here. So let me go to my builder and I'll refresh the page. So you can see as soon as I published, I can see my process here. So I go ahead and open it. And once I have this open, I can go ahead and simply test it. So I will run it and start execute the process. So now you can see here, it is opening one by one task and executing it. Just ignore the errors, even if it shows 3 errors. It should not be any issue. So you can see it has opened the web page and I'm not doing anything. It is doing automatically. Now it will log in. Now it says to go to rebates. So we are in the rebates page. So yes, you saw that how easily we recorded the screen and it is now even able to perform the same steps. And once you have, I mean, I didn't add any logic manually, but if you have to add any logic more, you can go to the builder and you can, you have all those, sorry, this is the builder. Once you are inside this, you have all different things available here to update your flow manually as per your business requirements. So this is about RPA. Let me know if anyone has any questions. Let's quickly talk about MuleSoft IDP. Hopefully, time-wise, we are doing okay. So yeah, MuleSoft IDP. So MuleSoft Intelligent Document Processing enables you to read invoices, purchasing orders, and any other unstructured or semi-structured documents. And then it analyzes and refine the extracted content using AI capabilities to create a structured response. So we use document action in that. A document action is a multi-step process which uses multiple AI engines to scan a document, filter out fields, and return a structured response as a JSON object. Each document action defines the types of documents it expects as input, the fields to extract, and the fields to filter out from the response. And again, with the simple IDP interface, you can create and publish document actions as APIs, and you can use those APIs in your RPA or in your Anypoint platform integration. So let's move on to the use cases. So for the use cases for IDP, if you want to automate the expense receipt verification and approvals, if you want to automate the claim intake, so wherever you want to, read the documents like PDF where you have unstructured data, in that case, IDP will be useful for you. And I think I don't have once again, I don't have the IDP open at the moment. In the meantime, if anyone has any question, please let me know. I think there are a lot of questions about the licensing, but I'm really sorry about that. I have no idea about it. So if I go to my IDP, I can create.
I beg your pardon. Yes, it's a question. It's regarding to figure out whether your process will be handled properly by RPA and it is not brittle. So I want But I just tried to use RPA. I didn't get enough experience, unfortunately. So I don't even know whether I can retry this later for another use case. But I'm curious to figure out how brittle it is and what is the basis on the how the algorithm is actually figure out these things that are moving or can change easily, like configuration of your screens, or things that are different, and for human it's very easy to figure out the difference, and for automated scripts is not. What is your evaluation? Have you get a substantial experience with RPA?
No, I mean, practically, I don't have a lot of experience with RPA, but as far as I know, it's all about, same thing like creating and testing it. So until unless you're happy with the results, and you have tried it with different use cases, then only you will know that, what's the.
Needy. Well, it is not about creating and testing. You can create and test, and then it will break later, very soon. That's the problem. You can test and everything is going to be all right, but after
Mhm.
some time it will break, and you won't be able to change, to modify easily. You need to recreate a whole scenario. And that's the issue that I wanted just to discuss with you, asking whether you have got an experience of this, because it's a similar thing for everything. Other products applied to RPA are subject of this issue as well.
Okay. So right now I don't have any answer for you, but maybe I will deep dive into it later, and yeah, I'll try to come back with some answers.
Mm. So it's just to underline that no, nowadays, well, the new solutions with not actually coding the process, but giving the prompt to the LLM looks a bit more suitable for this kind of operations, and that's interesting topic as far as I'm concerned, because I saw how it works with the LLM behind, but it costs a lot because everything is a kind of expensive if you call LLM behind. That's what I
Yes.
wanted just to.
Yeah.
Hey, hey,
Sorry, that was all. So I don't want to spend a lot of more time. That's
No,
pretty clear for me.
that's
Thank you.
yeah,
hey,
that's very interesting.
yeah, I'll just take 2 minutes. So this is a good question, because yeah, it especially talking. So in the market there are lots of ways to automate. Right? Suppose we take the example of invoice processing. So MuleSoft RPA uh, is the good product. And so yeah, so in all the automation, so there are multiple ways you can automate through LLMs and other, like all has pros and cons. So but in RPA, what our experience is like is very, like, once it's stable, then it's very smooth. First of all, implementation is very smooth. Second thing, yes, it has the brittle UI dependencies, but so because RPA bots interact with the user interfaces of the applications, right? So it as the so bots can break as per the UI changes. So it requires a frequent, as the application updates or the UI changes are there. Also, bot requires updates, right? So uh, it's just like, if any changes in the UI, we need to update the codes, right? Similarly, bots also requires the updates, but it depends on the UI changes. If the UI changes are not that much frequent, the bots will be stable. So that's how, like, RPA flows will be stable as long as there is no UI changes. I mean, that's what our experience, whatever the samples we have done for similar use cases, that's our experience. But yeah, there are lots of other ways to automate, and this is the best product that is like kind of stable, as long as there are and it requires, like, maintenance is always depends on the other UI changes and other stuff. But yeah, this is, I mean, good so far. Like, uh, so yeah, thanks for uh,
Yes, that's very interesting. Again, I'm not saying something against. It's it's a meetup. It is not propaganda conversation when you are just trying to put something in my head. I believe
yeah, exactly.
everyone is participating to figure out what is the best way to get things done. And again, your observation about easiness with the product when the GUI is not actually supposed to change. It's remarkably interesting because basically the problem is that actually the GUI itself is not a part of a contract in some way. So your other party is not kind of bounded by some contract, and they can change slightly, and these small changes will just ruin your work. That's an issue. So but again, I understand your plight. I believe you appreciate mine as well. Another small question: is there any chance that you can give your opinion again? If you are not aware, that's not a problem. But if you compare this solution RPA from MuleSoft with something like, okay, let's say UiPath, is there any chance that you can give your opinion about brittleness if we compare two solutions, UiPath, for example, and RPA?
No, I mean, see, this is not about the comparison. This is in the meetups, we just try to share the knowledge about the latest products available in the Salesforce, and whatever audience want to like learn about the things in detail, and whatever the challenges they are facing, and also they want whatever we are just trying our best to share the knowledge about the various use cases and whatever the challenges we can address, and we can help them out in, like, make their life easier with the products. So that's the purpose. And yeah, so the RPA is like, definitely, if the handwritten invoices, there is like missing data or any unexpected formats, then definitely we face the challenges, right? Because like, but yeah, it's as I said, like, every problem, like, it's and product itself is evolving, right? There are changes, the product itself updates are there, like, at certain, like, almost every year. I mean, all these, yeah, so we are just trying uh, our best to help uh, audience out to understand the problems, and how we can help them out to solve that.
Very good. Very good.
But yeah, all your questions are really interesting, and it's really and thanks for asking all these questions, so uh, we can definitely research about it, and get back to you with the best answers, I would say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rudy. Thanks, Edward, for the great questions. So yeah, let's go ahead. So okay, we were on IDP. So I'm creating a new process here. So when you create a new one, you can select whether the document is going to be an invoice or it's a purchase order, or if it is any other document apart from these, you can select the generate category. So I have invoice here right now. Provide the description as part of best practices, create it. And there you can see you can upload your file, right? So I'll go ahead and select my file here. And once my file is uploaded, you can see in the right hand side, the outputs, it has got 51 fields, which it will try to read from the document. It has got the tables and prompts is related to the AI thing. So I'll go ahead and run it. And now in the background, it is extracting the data, mapping it with the fields, and providing the JSON data. So you can see all the data has been read from this invoice, and it is fed into all different fields of this particular action. And once you have this created, you can publish it as an API. And once you publish it, you can access it from your Exchange. You can access it in your Anypoint platform or RPA. Sorry about that. So this is about IDP, and let's move on to Salesforce flows. Okay. So first of all, what is a Salesforce flow? So till now, IDP, RPA, Composer, everything is part of the automation, which comes under the MuleSoft automation. And now we are going to talk about the Salesforce flows, which is another way of integration. So first of all, let's understand what exactly is Salesforce flow. So Salesforce Flow is a low-code automation tool which allows the users to build and automate business processes, workflows, and guided user experiences inside Salesforce, and that too without writing code. So the main difference here from MuleSoft is Anypoint Platform is in Anypoint Platform, you integrate the external systems, you integrate different systems in an enterprise, whereas in Salesforce Flow, you integrate internally to Salesforce, whether you want to integrate Salesforce one org to another org, or if you want to, perform different operations on the different objects of Salesforce, then Salesforce Flow is the perfect solution for that. And to create the Salesforce flows, sorry, we use Flow Builder, which is provided by Salesforce. So Flow Builder is a simple point and click builder, which allows you to model any complex business workflows. So when you start building on this flow, first of all, as we saw in all the different flows and processes, first of all, we need to define the trigger, how you want this flow to be triggered, right? How you want it to be launched. So there are different types of flows which Salesforce provides, which we'll go a little bit in detail in the next slide. So you need to define what kind of flow is, how the flow will get triggered, and then you put your logic there, right? And the logic where I mean is the decisions which you want to take, whether you want to, assign a loop there, or you want to if else condition or any assignment. So these are kind of logic you will be applying there. And if you want to connect to the external data, for example, if you want to get some data even from MuleSoft API, you can very well do that as well here. So you will be adding the different actions to connect to different systems. So again, it is still very different than MuleSoft. It's not like two-way integration. You are retrieving some data from the API and you are working on that data in the flow. So again, it's not for complex transformation. It is for very basic transformation and just retrieving the data and working on that data. And then we have create screens. Sorry about that. So you can even design your interactive visual components to collect and display the information. So even inside the flow where you are, you want to, just display some screen, you want user to enter some data into it, and then you want to work on it, even that is possible. You can create the screens, and then you can take the actions, like if you want to update a database or you want to send an email, so you can add those actions to it. So again, this is kind of a flow which we put together. So these are the different types of flow. Actually, there are different types of flow types, but these are the 5 core flow types, I would say, or they are the most frequently used ones. So when you start building your flow from scratch, you need to select, first of all, one of the flows here. So first is screen flow, which requires user interaction because it includes screens, local actions, steps, choices, or dynamic choices. And then you have auto launched flow with a scheduled trigger, so which runs only from a schedule. This flow type does not support any user interaction or screens or local actions interactions. So our scheduled trigger flow runs only at the scheduled time and frequency. Then you have auto launched flow with no trigger, which does not require any user interaction. This flow type does not support screens, local actions, choices, or choice sets. And then you have auto launch flow with a record trigger, which is where the elements which are supported are assignment, decision, get records, and loop. And this record trigger flow runs only whenever there is a update in a record, whether a record is created or a record is updated. And then you have platform event, which is a flow which starts when a particular platform event message is received. So the use cases of flow are, for example, if a critical process fails, you want to auto create an IT support ticket, or if there is an opportunity reaches a certain stage in your Salesforce org and you want to notify to the manager, or you want to auto create a follow-up task. And when a customer sends an email, you want to convert it into a Salesforce cases automatically. So these are these type of the tasks which are mainly focused on Salesforce, and you want to automate those. Salesforce Flow will be the perfect solution for that. So let's see Salesforce flows in action. Okay. So I'll go to my org and let me go to the flows first. And here you can see, instead of creating a new one, I'll go to the one which I already created. And here you can see when you start creating, first of all, you need to choose which kind of flow you want to select. So if I go to new flow, start from scratch, you can even use a template here, and then you can see all different types of flows are here, right? So you can choose as per your requirement. So I'm not going to create one new here. I'll just go ahead and select the one which I already created. So in this one, if I click on this trigger, so when you configure your trigger, right, so you need to define, because it is a record trigger flow. So I want to define, I need to define on which kind of record I want this trigger to be, this flow to be executed. So here I have selected the object as case. So whenever a case is created or it is updated, and then I have set some entry conditions here that the status of the case should be should be escalated. So if that is the case, then this flow will get executed. And then I have added another action here, which is get tier 2 queue. So tier 2 queue is an object, is a group which I have already created in the org. And from that object, I want to retrieve some information. So wherever the developer name is tier 2 queue, I want to retrieve some information from there. So all the output will be available as the output of this particular step. And then the next step is update case. So here I wanted to update back the case object which was triggering this flow. I wanted to again go back and assign the owner ID which I retrieved from this particular step back to the case. So I have assigned to triggering case owner ID. I assigned the one which I received from the previous step. So again, whatever steps you are processing, all the data which has already processed in the last step, that is available in the next step. So, and triggering case escalated, assigned it to true. And so you can configure this flow as per your requirement. And once you are happy with the flow, sorry, I wanted to debug it. And you can test it. So for example, when if you see the test screen here, so it gives you an option. You can even choose your case. And once you have selected your case here, you can see all the information related to case here. And I can see the status is already escalated, so I won't change it and I will run it. And you can see the flow is completed. And here you can see the debug details. It has successfully found the record from this step, and in the assignment step, it has assigned the owner ID, which was retrieved to this. So yeah, this is how you can create your Salesforce flow. And once you're happy, you can activate it. So that's about flows. And now let's move on to the most famous topic these days, which is agent force. So what is exactly is an agent, right? So agent is, in simple terms, I would say it is a digital representative for various tasks. So for example, if we are availing any service from any of the organization, or if we are talking to customer care, anything we need from the customer support, we will be calling them or we will be chatting with them and they will be providing the information to us, right? So that's a human representative is working for us. But now, if for some reasons the human representatives, the human employees, they cannot work 24 by 7, and sometimes they need some details from us, and it takes time. I'm really sorry about this. It takes time for them to get the data from us, process it, search, retrieve the data maybe from the database, analyze it, maybe do some calculations and provide the result to us. So this even might take a lot of time. So that's where we are providing this agent force, where we are providing agents to help you. So these agents, instead of the employee going into the database, retrieving the data and analyzing, calculating the data, it will just ask the agent to do that, and agent can do all that work for you in the background and provide you the output maybe just in 2 seconds. And this employee can use that data and give it back to the customer, so the customer will be very happy, right? So this is what the agent is. And so agent force, if we say, agent force is a collection of these various agents which are there to perform different tasks. So agent force helps you to build powerful autonomous agents for the front office, for sales, service, marketing, commerce, etc. So whenever we design an agent, these are the 5 concept, I would say, we need to understand, which is which very well explain the agent. So the first thing is each agent is assigned a specific role within the organization, right? So if I have created an agent, I have to define a role for it. So whether it is a agent for managing the customer interaction, or if agent is for the optimizing logistics, or for analyzing the data for decision making. So we have to define a role. The way whenever we hire an employee, we have to define their role, what is their day-to-day job, right? Similarly, the same case. Once you define the role, you need to provide the knowledge to that, right? Based on, and here by knowledge, I mean the data. So the agent needs to have the data based on which it can provide you, it can perform the different actions which you have asked for it. So for the role, it has been assigned, the data, it has been provided, it has to perform some task, it has to perform some actions to achieve the goal, right? To fulfill the request which we have asked for. So that is action. Okay, and these actions could be anything from like sending an email, or recommending products to customers, or managing workflows. And then, because these agents are working autonomously, so we need to provide guardrails. We need to provide some guidelines to these agents, so that it adhere to the security, and it safeguards the sensitive data and maintain the compliance in industry regulations. And lastly, the channel. So agents communicate through various channels, whether they are interacting with the users, they are interacting with other agents and systems to fulfill their roles. And when we start creating the agents, these are the three main things which you need to be aware of: topics, instructions, and actions. So when you configure your agent, you need to define all these three things, right? So first of all, topic is like a category. So for example, you asked a question to the agent or you gave a prompt to the agent. So this agent, first of all, need to identify that this question belongs to which category, right? It has to narrow down the search, basically. So even if I ask you any random question in this world, first of all, you need to know exactly about what I'm talking about. So that's what it does in the background. It has a reasoning engine which is running in. So it reads the request, it identifies, and then it tells, okay, this particular question belongs to this topic. So that is basically topic. And this can be, you can see the example here: order management, repairs, general FAQ. So whichever topic your question belongs to, it will categorize that. So we need to define what are the topics could be for this agent. And for each topic, we will be providing the instructions. So these instructions could be like whatever instructions you want to give to your agent. That for order management, always offer to look up order status, right? Or always perform this kind of action. So these are some instructions which you will need to provide to the agent. Based on the instructions only, it will identify, okay, this question belongs to this topic. Now what I need to do. And then the actions. So you need to create and assign the actions. So you will create these independent actions. They can be like, there are many standard actions provided by Salesforce, but you can create your custom actions as well. And these actions you will be assigning to the topics. And you can also mention those actions in the instructions. So first of all, I created this order management. I created 5 actions, which I have associated with this topic. And now in my instructions, I have given that whenever customer asks for order status, always invoke this action. So something like that. So this is the way you can define your actions and assign it to them. Good question, Edward. Why do the agents in SFDC visuals wear specs? So, oh, that's a good question. We need to ask the design team.
With all respect that I owe you again, Nidhi, the question is actually not about spacesuit. It's actually about what we are going. Where are we going? Because actually, this topic is actually MuleSoft upcoming news, and previous was actually about Flow, and this one is about agents, and it is not directly related to MuleSoft. For as far as I can see, MuleSoft we perceive as API management and ESB. It's actually not about intelligence, but it's more about performance. When we can do some ETL, for example, but we need to move data fast, we use MuleSoft ESB, and if we require to connect external bodies, or we need to to put a lot of backends together, we use MuleSoft ESB and API management. These agents are very nice things, but they are Salesforce. Looks like they are Salesforce, at least for to my mind. I've been in this business for 30 years, and when I was younger, it was actually the case for IBM to put everywhere the labels of, let's say, WebSphere on everything, and then you were almost unable to understand what's going on. Well, they changed their policy when they started to deep dive and lose a lot of money. I hope we won't be entering in the same thing for Salesforce, because it's actually something that I would like to capitalize on. That's what I wanted to say. If someone wants to ask.
Okay, so basically here, I mean, especially which I want to show is here how the agents work with the MuleSoft. So I know this is MuleSoft focus session, and even Salesforce flows, they can work with the MuleSoft APIs. And these agents, how do they work with MuleSoft, which I want to highlight. And yeah, so
Very
agents,
good.
okay. So agents with MuleSoft, we can integrate MuleSoft API with Agentforce agents. And as I talked in the last slide about the actions, so actions, we assign some specific tasks to the agent, and these actions can invoke your flow, they can invoke your MuleSoft API, and it can be anything. So how you can, leverage your MuleSoft APIs to perform the specific task for your agents. So these are a few basic steps to build the intelligent integration. So first of all, you get your MuleSoft API ready. And then inside your Salesforce, you need to create the name credentials, and then you need to import the MuleSoft APIs as external service. And you need to invoke these APIs into a flow or an Apex class in order to invoke it from the action. And then you create the Copilot action to invoke those flows. Okay, so let's explore how we can use the agents with MuleSoft. Okay, so let's begin. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm back to this Flow Composer, which I left kept running, and seems it has been completed successfully. I can see the green check mark. And now if I go to my contacts list, it should update. So yes, this is the contact which I added. So this has been added here. So the Composer Flow worked successfully. Okay, so now back into my org, what I want to do is, first of all, I want to go to my flows. So here, this is a flow which I have already created. So this flow is actually invoking my MuleSoft API. So I'm not going to perform those basic operations like creating the external service and the named credentials. That is already done. And this is the auto launch flow which I created. And this is where I'm invoking the MuleSoft API. So this API requires a reward ID as an input, and it gives me reward points as the output. And then I'm assigning the output of the API to this particular variable, which is reward points. You can define your variables here in the toolbox. So this is the flow, Salesforce flow, which is invoking a MuleSoft API to give me the reward points for the reward ID. Okay, so this part is done. Now let's go to the Agentforce, and this is an agent which I have, and I click on Open in Builder. It opens the agent builder for me, where we can create the agents. We can configure the agent. So here are the topics, and if you go into each topic, we have different actions assigned to it, right? So let me remove it from here right now, and so that I can show you. So this is the topic which I have maybe created manually. And when you create the topic, you need to provide the instructions, the scope, and what exactly the role of this agent is. So I provided all that information. And then you can add the action to this topic. So already these many actions are already added. And now I can go ahead whether I can create a new action or I can add it from asset library. So I already created created a connection action using the flow, which is invoking a MuleSoft API. So I'll go ahead and just add it here. So where is the reward one? Okay, so this is the action which is invoking the flow, which I showed you recently. So once you add it here, and now let me ask it a few questions. Okay, 1 second. So even if I ask it, the agent, show me some high priority use cases. You can see that just in very few seconds, it has given me the response. It has searched my Salesforce org and found the high priority cases and provided me the info. And even if I want to summarize the first case, it can do that for me. But now let's come to the MuleSoft specific part. Okay, it has given me the summary of the case. And now I want to go ahead and, 1 second, there's the ID. Now, because I have added this particular action, which is invoking my MuleSoft API, so I will go ahead and ask the reward points for reward ID 3553. So this should come from the API. And let me just refresh it. Okay, so yeah, actually there is some bug actually because I'm using a demo environment. There is a bug that sometimes it gives me the result and sometimes it says it found no records. So I apologize for that, but generally whatever response we are getting from the API, we can even test it in the flow. The response is coming back from the API. We can see it here. This is how the agent works with MuleSoft. So yeah, this is about the agents with Salesforce, MuleSoft. Sorry, I couldn't show you the final result, but it works properly. So yeah, these are some links, and yeah, this is about everything which I wanted to share about the automation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Niti, for the great presentation and like really quick demos. Demos are like in so much detail. So I hope audience get the very brief information about the hyperautomation, the automation suites that Salesforce ecosystem has, the products related to automation, the Composer, RPA, IDP, and how the MuleSoft APIs and with the Anypoint platform, how products can be integrated together and to achieve the complete 100 end-to-end automation. So I'm leaving to audience. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Any questions? We have still 10 minutes left.
That's pretty interesting. Oh, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, that was pretty interesting to see the agents with the prompts. To be honest, if you go this way to reuse Mule API with agents, but okay, I understand that complex equipment has a property to fail to that time after time.
Yes, Grace, this is the slide for you.
Yeah, so MuleSoft, the Trailhead Academy has various courses available. You can start with the MuleSoft basics, and also there are other trainings available for the development fundamentals, for the platform architecture, for integration architecture, and also the hyperautomation training is also available on the Trailhead. So you please, I would suggest you to go through that and register for the trainings if you are interested to learn more about it. Thank you.
Yes, a quick question. Is there any chance that it is possible to get some more rebates for or tokens to pass the certification, the giveaways like this, or it is actually very close thing that is actually distributed only for partners and employee? Because I've got couple of certification, but then it always pushed away for some reason. A small token for less money will be always interesting.
So I think if you're looking for the manuals, then I think only you have to register for the trainings and attend it. Only then you have the manuals and the practice material is available to you.
I beg your pardon. Well, I was not very precise. It's about certification. Training, that's fine. You can go with the self-paced trainings and available PDFs, and all this stuff is actually for free, and that's nice. It's just if there is a way to get rebates on some certification, at least one.
You mean the voucher?
Precisely.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, wow, training vouchers. If so earlier we used to give the vouchers during the meetup when we had the trivia quizzes, but that is not happening anymore. So for the training vouchers, I would say either you attend the either you refer to the whatever the modules and the trainings available in the trailhead. It is self-paced. There are some self-paced trainings available as well, or you can go to the instructor-led trainings. When you purchase the instructor-led trainings, then you can get the exam vouchers. That is included in the instructor-led trainings. So yeah.
And even for agents, we have a lot of sessions going on these days. So if you want to get started with agents, we have like 90 minutes of hands-on workshop kind of sessions. So if anyone is interested, you can join those as well. Those are very useful. I would highly recommend those. And just not to advertise, just for the information.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Is it meetups like this one, or it's a separate session?
No, I think they are the paid ones, so the partners and the customers.
Okay, that's actually a training, like
Yeah,
training that is actually available on the Trailhead site. Okay, very good.
but they are like they're called virtual interactive workshops. So yeah, they are quite hands-on access sessions there.
can you please share your email in the chat? So if any trainings I come across, I can forward that information to you.
Okay, very good. I will try to find you on the LinkedIn if appropriate.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
Yeah. So if there is no further questions, I would like to wrap up this meetup. Thank you so much, Nidhi, for the great presentation, great demos, and thank you so much for a lot of valuable information. Thanks, Ed,
Thank you.
for the great questions. And thank you all for joining this meetup and really making it very like having the conversations, and it's really amazing to interact with the audience. So feel free to
Absolutely.
send all your questions, whatever the meetup questions in the meetup group. So please reach out to through the email, and we will like to address all the requests. And the training, this meetup session video recording will be available in the meetup event page after like just 24 hours. So yeah, you can go through the video recording again and quickly freshen up the, I mean, whatever the information is available. So thank you so much for joining us for the meetup, and thank you so much, Nidhi, for making it really great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonali and Jay, for the opportunity. And thank you very much, everyone, for listening to me patiently. And hopefully, you enjoyed the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you.